and a retablo maker and master retablo maker. And if you could just talk a little bit about your work and some of the articles that you have in the magazine.
Okay, I started carving when I was 8 years old, out of necessity. I started carving Frankensteins.
Right.
My father had passed, and I wanted a bike, one of those Schwinn bikes with big handlebars, and I wanted a purple Schwinn bike with a banana seat and all that, right? And I went and asked my mom. She goes, "Son, we're gonna have to save, so we're gonna save for your bike, and then we have to get a bike for Sandra too. It wouldn't be fair to your sister, so we have to save for 2 bikes." Well, I live next door to a lumber yard, and so I told the guys, "If you have any soft wood, throw it over the fence." So they threw it over the fence, and I started carving Frankensteins. And I'd go sit down in Old Town Plaza in Albuquerque and sell them for $10 a piece. They started selling like hotcakes, right? I guess because I was a kid, right? And so a couple of months later, I came home and I had a pocket full of money. I go, "Look, Mom, I have enough for 2 bikes." And she goes, "Where'd you get that money?" As I told, "I'm carving Frankensteins." She goes, "What?" So I'm carving Frankensteins. They're buying them. She goes, "Let me see one." So I showed her. She goes, "You're selling these?" I said, "Yes." And she put her hand on my shoulder. She had a real feminine hand. She puts on my shoulder. She says, "Keep carving, son." So every year I'd get a carving tool for Christmas, right? And I started carving and doing different things. And then probably about 20 years ago or so, I ran into a master santero, and he was carving bultos. And I said, "I'd really like to try that." And so I apprenticed with him for quite a while, about 3 years, and we became buddies at that time. So I started doing it, and I entered a piece into the Hispanic Arts Center at the State Fair, and I won the blue ribbon. And the people that were the jury was the curator at Albuquerque Museum and the curator at the National Hispanic Cultural Center, and the director at the Spanish Colonial Arts Museum. And so they encouraged me to, "Well, you need to apply for Spanish Market," and I did, and I got in. And since then, I've just learned the art from different masters. You know, people have been so. I've been in Spanish Market now 14 years, but early on, I just had the masters are just, you know, santeros and santeras. We're like a family. You know, we're not really competitive with each other. We encourage each other to get better and everything. And Arlene Cisneros Sena, Charlie Carrillo, and Victor Golet, Macario Otero, Arthur Lopez, Martha Ewing, just so many, just always encourage me, "Oh, your work's good," and just really encouraging and inspiring. And, you know, started showing me Nicotero and showing me how to mix pigments and so we have room for both. You know what I mean? Some people, the Spanish Market and culture evolves and that type of thing, you know, so people come looking for different things. They may come looking for a traditional piece, or they may come looking for a more innovative piece, but we have it all. And some of the best, you know, and it's really a true honor. You know, we had a guy by the name of Luis Lorenzo, and he's from Barcelona, Spain. And he's associated with the University of Barcelona. And he came here several years ago, and he was just in awe about, you know, how did you guys keep the formulas? You have them written down. It says, I'm sure somebody has them written down somewhere, but if I want to know how to mix a color, I'll call somebody. I say, how do you get that color, right? And so he did an article it's been circulated around Europe, that there's a little pocket of the world in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and northern New Mexico, and New Mexico and southern Colorado, that they still have the old formulas. Somehow they have managed to maintain, to use them all this time. And so it's just been a fabulous journey. And for me, it's spiritual as well as artistic. You know what I mean? If I make a piece, and for one brief second, if somebody thought about a higher being or a creator or the Holy Spirit or anything like that, just for a brief moment, And I said, it's a successful base. It's worth it. It was all worth it. Because then somebody will just think, oh, maybe I need to pray. Maybe I need to meditate. Maybe I need to do something like that. You know? So it's just been a tremendous joy and an honor.
Speak for themselves.
Yeah. I
Are
just
you
love it.
still showing at the Hispanic Culture Center?
Excuse me?
I still have your pieces in the Hispanic Culture Center.
We've had shows there, and I have pieces in some museums and a lot of collectors and things like that. And our art is world renowned. You know what I mean? At this little market, I mean, people from all over the world come and buy our pieces. You know, I have pieces in Madrid. I have pieces in France. I have pieces in Italy, Santa Fe, Albuquerque, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, I mean, Houston. And I'm not unique. I mean, people come here and they have their favorite artist. They like that artist style. And sometimes they come back for several times and buy different pieces, you know. So we're really blessed and really fortunate to be a part of this, you know. It's really humbling, you know. I got Joseph Lopez and Felix Lopez and all those guys that just, you know, help out so much.
Thank you for keeping the tradition going.
Thank you. It's important.